How you guys doing? So today, basically, I just wanted to stream for a bit because I believe that Bitcoin is at a very weird spot. Right? I'm not saying this to scare anyone. I don't want anyone to be taking this is just purely my opinion on things, but Bitcoin is at a very risky state right now. So you see this fair value gap we see on the so let me explain, right? So you need some data to even have an opinion, right? All right, so first of all, let me go to the weekly frame. All right, so the weekly is something that I didn't properly analyze, but according to the weekly, you see this huge wick. So basically this is just a manipulation wick. So we have accumulation, manipulation, distribution, basically power of 3. But here's the problem, right? So if I go here, you see that accumulation, manipulation, and distribution taking part right here, right? We swept this liquidity, and then we're using this fair value gap as support. But then this candle right here, okay, even if it does, let's hypothetically assume, right? So hypothetically assume today is just gonna go lower and then use this fair value gap as a retracement towards the upside, right? And then let's say, for example, let's say one of these fair value gaps. So there's a fair value gap here, which is a low probability fair value gap because it was mitigated already, and then this right here, which is a high probability fair value gap because there's a higher likelihood that it might retrace here than here, because this fair value gap right here is little, right, tiny compared to this one, and it's already mitigated. As you can see, this wick closed inside this fair value gap. That's common sense, right? So you can see that this right here is a let me show you. So this right here is an internal term high. As you can see, this is a very weird pattern, but it's bullish. So you see this internal term high, right? So you see after this little bit of a sweep, we seem to break this internal term high. I won't be surprised, not even in the slightest, if we retrace back towards this level. So if you also notice the fact that this is a rally base and then we have another rally going towards the upside, what does this mean? This is a pullback area, so which means this price is going to come here to balance this price range, which directly aligns with this internal term highs. So what do I really expect? So you see, as much as you think this is a market structure shift right now, what happened with what's it called, NASDAQ? Let me show you, right? Let me show you. So right here, you see that NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ, let me show you with the 15 minute. So on the 15 minute, you see NASDAQ, it first had this internal term high broken, right? But realistically, it wasn't really indicating a market structure shift. In fact, it was indicating a complete reversal. This is basically an inducement zone. A lot of people assume this is a market structure shift, but in reality, it's an internal term high, which means the next market structure swing high that's going to form, which is technically the newer internal term high, is technically the liquidity sweep, as you can see right here. So after this liquidity sweep, we had this whole reversal cost because of this liquidity sweep. As you can see, this is buy side liquidity sweep, and then we go lower, we take out this liquidity, and then we go higher using this fair value gap, which seems to be mitigated, but it seems to be a pretty strong fair value gap. As you can see, like, let's just consider this whole area as one fair value gap. Okay, so this right here, as you can see, it wicks right through, but it's a very strong fair value gap because it seems to be the fair value gap that holds towards until this point, right? So we see this internal term high right here, and as soon as we see proper displacement above this internal term high right here, you can see that this fair value gap is being used as a fair value gap to sort of rebalance this price. So you see this was directly correlated with this internal term high right here. So anyways, this is besides the point, right? This is NASDAQ. So what I'm saying is, let's go back to Bitcoin, right? So what I'm saying here is the fact that if I go back to this point, so it's safe to say that this is already mitigated, which means there's a less likelihood that this will be used as a proper fair value gap, which means I'm highly probable of the fact that if you're using this as your stop loss, you're kind of fucked. All right, so if this is your fair value gap right here, all right, if this is your fair value gap, just do it because you just gotta consider every possible scenario, right? But in reality, this wouldn't be there because it's already wicked through. Look, it's completely mitigated. See, it's completely mitigated through. So I wouldn't be surprised, not even in the slightest, if it uses this fair value gap, because this is not mitigated whatsoever. See, it's completely unmitigated. So it's going to use this. It's a high probability fair value gap. So it's going to use this fair value gap as a level of support and then retrace higher towards what? This buy side liquidity draw. But here's the problem, right? So this is the 4 hour. So that's what's happening in the 4 hour, right? So if anything, right, this is the 15-minute fair value gap, as you can see. So basically, this 15-minute fair value gap seems to be holding up pretty strong. It seems to be like sort of consolidating within. But what I'm realistically expecting this price action to do is realistically just retrace down to this 59,000 area right here, and then use a 15-minute fair value gap from around somewhere around here to retrace towards what 62.7. So we can assume that the price is going to short until this swing low right here. So even though this is a market maker buy model, let's look to the left, right? So you see this internal term highs, swing highs, this buy side liquidity draw was taken out, this buy side liquidity draw was taken out. What is this? A liquidity sweep right here. Let me just parallelly compare this. So you can see that this is a buy side liquidity draw right here, buy side liquidity draw. And we have a liquidity sweep. So once we have this liquidity sweep, we have the whole distribution right here. And once we have this distribution, it seems to be consolidating, which means there's still buying pressure. But ultimately, you see that it taps into this 4-hour, I think this was the daily fair value gap. Yeah, this was the daily fair value gap. So you see it taps into the daily fair value gap. So I won't be surprised if it retraces lower. Okay, it retraces lower, which is perfectly correlating with this fair value gap, the second unmitigated fair value gap, the 4/1. So let me just put this so that it makes more sense. So you see this 4-hour fair value gap. So it's going to retrace towards this 4-hour fair value gap. Use this as a support level. What? Test this level right here, and then it's going to retrace towards what? This swing high right here. Alright, so this is the swing high and this is the swing low. So I'm assuming the swing low would form somewhere around here at most. So this 4-hour fair value gap, you can entry from a 5-minute fair value gap, get a proper 5-minute price action. Depending on 5-minute price action, you can like get a proper pullback as your discount. Basically, that's just self-explanatory. But basically, right here, if you enter right here, you have a, at least over here, right, you have a proper, let me see, right, let's just hypothetically assume the swing low is going to go somewhere here, and then it's probably going to close like slightly, probably like slightly over here, maybe sweep liquidity a bit. But anyways, that's besides the point. So let me just let's go here. This 25 if you look at it from a longs perspective. So let's just go from here to the buy side liquidity draw, and then we have the swing low, which is this point. Oh fuck, what did I just do? This point right here. Yo, what's good, Smooth Brain? How you doing, man? How you doing, man? So yeah, this is a almost 1-to-6 ratio trade. So if price action does exactly what we anticipate, then yes, we will be able to get a proper 1-to-6 ratio, considering this is the swing low right here. Like this would be like you're using this swing low to catch this swing high. So that's actually a pretty good trade. It's almost 1-to-6. So it's a pretty good trade. So you just need to wait until price action gives you a clear signal as to what should be done, because right now it seems to be consolidating. It seems to have used this 1-day fair value gap as like a proper retracement, but you see this 4-hour fair value gap, the topmost 4-hour fair value gap is mitigated completely through. You can see this mitigation completely through that first 4-hour fair value gap. This right here completely takes it out. Look, if you look at this, right, I just started learning trading for real. Nice, that's fire, bro. So yeah, what it's gonna do right here, this is completely mitigated. You see these candles right here, which are like displacing inside this fair value gap. Yeah, so it takes out the complete fair value gap. So it just basically invalidates the whole thing. This is unmitigated, so that means this is a high probability trade. So it's going to retrace towards this 4-hour fair value gap, which is unmitigated. Why? Because these wicks haven't closed inside this fair value gap. See, these wicks are closing inside this fair value gap. See, and then this right here has not been closed inside. So what I'm going to do, what's price going to do? It's going to go lower to this point, use this as a maybe sweep liquidity a bit, and then use this as a support level to retrace towards what? This drawn liquidity, these equal highs over here. See, so if you think about it, it's just if you think about it, like if you consider, for example, like in the 15-minute time frame, if you consider this to be like a, for example, like if you zoom in like this and then you consider this market maker buy model cycle to complete, that's invalid. That's completely invalid, because for example, in reality, this is just the market maker buy model. So even if it does have a retracement back towards this point, it's just a pullback. You get me? Like in the whole concept of time is fractal. You get me? So basically right here, you see that this is the sell side of the curve, and this is the buy side of the curve. See? And if we look at the overall trend, right, from the very most swing high, very most swing high, all the way towards the very most swing low, you can see that this is still below equilibrium. So it's slightly below equilibrium. It's a risky spot to be taking the trade, but it's almost at equilibrium. So if you enter it somewhere around here, you can expect a bit of a odd choppy market, but then you can technically take it upwards. So it's premium from anything above 0.5, but still you still have the you still can get in. It's not like it's not the end of the world, honestly. But if you have the biggest balls in the world, I swear, again, maybe that's a little inappropriate, but if you have the biggest balls in the world, you can target for this, which is the 70k range, which is unlikely to hit, honestly. 21.2. So yeah, I would be much rather safe than sorry. At most it would retrace to this swing highs because price is predicted to go up to like 65 from what I saw on this do you know, wait, sorry, sorry, I have this thing on my screen, sorry, my bad. Do you know what liquidity is? Liquidity is basically the buyers and the sellers in the market, bro. It's basically like, for example, like there's a lot of definitions for liquidity. There's no one specific definition. For example, like how do I explain this? Like, for every fucking buyer in this market, there needs to be a seller, right? So always, like, for example, like liquidity in another context is basically like, let's say, for example, if you want to sort of if the markets, any money that's flowing in and out of the market, you get me, buying and selling that's happening within the market. For example, like let's say like the retail traders, right? The retail trader goes and hits his stop loss, okay? It's stop loss. So basically that stop loss, okay, so if you've heard of this thing called inducement zones, okay, inducement in itself is basically the definition of just making a lot of what do you call them, a lot of decisions at a specific zone, right? So inducement zones are basically, like, think of it like inducement zones are smart money traps, as they call this. So the point of smart money is to take as many stop losses, as in many retail traders stop losses, ultimately adding what, liquidity into the market, in other words, pouring money. So any stop loss that's hit, unless it's a paper trade, that's a different scenario, any stop loss that's hit is technically money poured into the market, you get me? So that liquidity can be used for how do I explain this? That liquidity is basically can be used to sort of push the market in the direction that they were supposed to. Think of it like you tell this person that you're supposed to, you're gonna go up, right? But in reality, it's like you want to sort of take. So let's say, for example, like this is your prayer, right? Okay, think of it like this. So let's say this is the retail trader. Think of you as smart money, right? So you are the predator, right? And then the prey is basically the retail trader, in other words, us, right? People who trade from their houses and shit. But basically, smart money is people who move with a large number of funds, like, for example, millions and, you know, hedge funds, all this big money, right? So what they would do is they would show you, okay, on the surface level. This is like a very surface, high level type of thing. So they would tell you that they're going higher, right? Yes, of course, it's telling higher, right? And you know that this is not just the fact that they are telling you this, right? That you see for yourself that it's going higher. But what it really wants to do is, this is where you started, right? This is your stop loss. This point right here, okay? Think of it like this. They wanna make sure they take as many of you outside, and maybe someone else's stop loss. Think of this as with a point someone else entry, okay? So they want to take someone else's stop loss, then take someone else's stop loss, ultimately adding more and more liquidity, in other words, money poured into this market, right? And then go higher. Any point where a lot of decisions are made, whether it's willingly or unwillingly, but what I mean by that is, like, let's say unwillingly, of course you don't want your stop loss to be hit, right? So it's technically like unwillingly you're adding money to the market. All of that is technically liquidated money. So you're basically the liquidity at that point. You're adding money to the market, because if you're not making the money, you're just basically adding money to the market. And smart money doesn't really want to, like, smart money's idea is not to, like, bring you down or anything. It's basically just wants to move. The smart money wants to get in on a pretty nice, like, very high liquidity zone, where they can sort of get in on the best, capitalize on, like, the best move possible. This happens for both longing and shorting. For example, like, think of it, right? Instead of starting from here, if I fake out, and then if I tell you as smart money, think of me as smart money. If I tell you price is gonna go here, right? You'd be like, oh, hell yeah, like, you know, I just gotta keep going, right? And then what's really gonna happen is they're gonna take you out, take someone else's stop loss out, and then order blocks complex. No, it's not. It's very simple. You see, it's basically like, think of it like the candles that are pushing higher. There's a high probability order blocks and low probability order blocks, but think of it like the candles that push higher from, like, a demand or supply zone. Supply is basically the topmost area, and the demand is basically the bottommost area. For example, there's a bullish engulfing. If you have heard of the engulfing candlestick right here, you see that there's this is just a liquidity sweep, by the way. Let's just ignore this. So this right here is a order block, because this is a bullish engulfing. See? So it uses this as a demand zone right here, and the topmost area is, you see this candle right here. So even though it's barely visible, it's a green. This is green and red, by the way. Okay, so this right here is a bearish engulfing, which means this candle's body is much larger than this one, right? So what I'm saying is this will be used as a demand zone. So it's basically supply and demand. Sorry, supply, my bad. What am I saying? I always get that confused. So for example, supply is the high, the demand is the low. So when you sort of come back to this order block right here, it's called a reclaimed order block, which means your retesting price is retesting this level. I was told it's pretty complex for a starter. It's not. It depends on like what you consider complex, honestly. If you wanna really like take trading, again, don't take me as like your mentor. I'm just giving you like, just do your own research. But what I'm saying is, if you really wanna take it seriously, I haven't signed into my chat, but basically I'll just drop this in my chat. So you wanna make sure you use this resource right here. This is like really good, by the way. Like this, hold up, what the fuck is happening here? This right here. This is like really good. You gotta use this fucking resources on this. This is like, this gotta be the fucking best forum or tutorial website out there, honestly. Like this is like the one website that was my like bread and butter, especially when I was at my first few months. I learned fair value gap and supposed, right? So that's easy. That's basically like the retail concepts, as they call it. It's basically like, how to explain this? It's like the starting point. So when it comes to, okay, think of it like this, alright? So if you see a fair value gap, alright, this fair value gap, for example, you see these wicks closing inside, okay? These wicks that are closing inside, it's basically called a mitigated fair value gap, which means it's less probable to use this as a, see how it's like, instead of using this as a fair value gap to go higher from, if I like draw, it will be like, okay, it's you see how like it's kind of fucking ass. But basically, like my drawings, just look at my cursor, I guess. But like you see how instead of like going higher from this, like let's say you want to, this is the fair value gap, right? This is the fair value gap right here. So let's say for example you go higher, and then you were supposed to use this as like a pullback, but then use this fair value gap as like a support level to like go higher from, right? Instead of doing that, what it does is exactly take you out completely. So this right here is an example of a weak fair value gap, which means it's not holding this, like it's not using it as a proper barrier, if that makes sense. It's sort of taking it lower and then it's going higher. You get me? So it's like completely, so you see this wicks right here, it's basically like sort of this, mitigating through, as you call it, mitigating through this fair value gap right here. So it's completely like invalidating this fair value gap right here. So if these wicks close inside the body of this fair value gap, then it's basically like mitigated at this point. Technically, in certain cases you can technically use it again, but it's less probable, as you call it. So right here, this one right here is high probable because this has not been mitigated whatsoever. You see this candle, this wick right here, it hasn't closed in here. So until something closes in here, so it's very likely that it's going to come retrace to this point, which aligns perfectly with the fact that this liquidity sweep, right? It's going to like go for this draw liquidity, sweep liquidity, and use this level as a support level to retest, and then go higher from there towards whatever the higher drawn liquidity is. If you want to like sort of scalp, I guess you can just like go for, I think, this. Again, don't take my word for this. I'm also new to this. So yeah, I started trading like almost 4 months ago. So it's a 1.39 ratio. I wouldn't go for that low of a ratio though. I would go for like this wick low for like my stop loss. It's like a 1.4. It's not bad, but it's not great. So I'm thinking, like, I don't really trade crypto, but if I find like a good opportunity, then yes, 100%. It's a very volatile market, but I'm on my funded challenge, so it's not really a big issue, because funded challenges, like, even if I fail, I would just like go for a new one, honestly. It's not like, I don't really mind. Again, I'm not a profitable trader. I'm not nowhere near a profitable trader. If you want real advice, go to a profitable trader, someone who can like actually give you, you know, proper, how to explain it, proper guidance, if that makes sense, because I am also looking for guidance. So yeah, it's gonna use this fair value gap. I'm gonna use like a 15-minute fair value gap to retrace. I'm expecting it to be about at the 0.25, expecting this to be like the swing low, and just like sort of predicting price would use this as like a swing low, and then like that's why I drew this OTE right here. Do you get funded money to trading? Funded money, it's not a picture perfect scenario. I'm gonna keep it a buck. funded accounts have a lot more restrictions than what they seem, right? It's not just about like, it's like, at first my idea of funded accounts was like, hey, I gotta hit a $2,000 like limit, right? Let's say, for example, like the funded accounts price point is like, let's say $2,000 account. I gotta hit $2,000 in order to be like making what, like basically to get funded $2,000, right? That's not how this works whatsoever. So it's actually a little more easier on you, but also a little more harder on you. I don't know how to explain it. So basically there are these things called phases, right? Which means there are these things called drawdowns as well. Okay, these are things that usually like people don't really like talk about a lot, right? This is the reality about funded accounts. So funded accounts have this thing called drawdowns. Drawdowns are basically like, let's say there's a daily drawdown, there's an overall drawdown. For example, like my daily drawdown is 4% of my funded account capital. For example, that's like $80, right? So every, like in a day, in 24 hours, I can't lose more than $80. Okay, $80 is like the max loss that I can take, because that's 4% of my account, right? And on top of that, I have this thing called a total drawdown, which means that's 8% of my account. That means $160, right? So I can't lose $160 out of that $2,000 overall, right? This applies for not only for the like phases, as in phases are like the time where you're taking the challenge, right, before you get funded, right? Not only for that part, but even after you get funded, right? So there's going to be like drawdowns. So drawdowns are like percentages. So they usually tell you, like, let's say 5% of a $5,000 account. So you got to do the math and then figure out what your drawdown is. Different depending on the size of the account. Obviously, like a higher, like the bigger the price limit is, there's more room to sort of gamble with, if that makes sense. But especially because I'm starting off with like a $2,000 funded challenge, so it's like, because the $2,000 funded challenge is pretty cheap. It's like $15. It's a two-step, which means there's two phases, right? The first phase I gotta hit 8%, and the second phase I gotta hit 5% out of that $2,000, which means the first phase I gotta make $160, and the second phase I gotta make $100, right? So it doesn't matter if you make $300 in the first phase. So you can go for one step, which means you need to make all like the total like 8 plus 5% in like one go, basically. So like, for example, how do you get fundamental? Basically, like after you pass a prop firm challenge, you will be like sort of given, like, you can build wealth on top of it, but then drawdown rules apply. So let's say you lose that drawdown money that you were given, like you basically lose that money. So it's not like you can like spend all that $2,000, bro. You think that's gonna be the reality? Hell nah. Then funded accounts, like funded prop firms would be at like the biggest loss in the world. Like they would be losing more money than making money. So they make money when you lose money, bro. Because like, let's say for example, like beginners especially, like even me, right? I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fail a few funded challenges as well, right? I'm going for $2,000 because like it's, you know, hello friend, what's good, what's up to send run hero, my bad, sorry. But like what I'm saying is like funded like prop firms and stuff, can I make one what, how do you expect I'm doing that? 1 million in 2 hours? Are you crazy? You gotta be joking, bro. I'm gonna give you the back. Nah, you gotta be trolling. There's nothing in this world that you can make 1 million in 2 hours. That's crazy. You gotta be out of your fucking mind if you want to make 2 hours. 1 million in 2 hours. Maybe in a month, sure, but 2 hours, bro, you gotta be out of your mind. Nah, you gotta be out of your mind. Oh, you're talking about Sri Lankan rupees, right? How much is 1 million? Like 10 lakhs, isn't it? That's like what, $5,000 in 2 hours? Sure, yes, you can. If you're a good trader. Like if I'm talking about like if you're like 6 years experience or 4 years minimum experience, you have a few funded challenges passed. I'm not talking about just passing for one funded challenge, like few funded challenges, as in like if you have a few, maybe 10, 25, 50k type accounts passed, then yes. If you have multiple funded challenges passed, then yes, 100% you can. It's about 2.5k. Hold up. 2.5k what? Yeah, 2.5k USD, right? But yeah, like funded challenges, they're pretty hard, bro. So you gotta make sure you pass. It's not like an easy, I'm gonna make 1 million in 2 hours. In fact, the reality of trading, especially like when you're just starting off, is like, it's gonna be disgusting. But like, if you come in for the money, what are you working on? Right now, right now I am working on getting better at trading. It's the weekend, so the real market is not open. I'm calling it the real market because like the real market is where smart money really applies, but crypto is technically just volatile markets, honestly. Like, I wouldn't even call it. Thoughts on running or consider roping the crypto market? Roping? What the fuck is crypto market? How does it affect Sri Lanka? I think the fucking government is stupid as fuck, bro, honestly. Because there's a lot of people who are literally doing crypto transactions behind their fucking backs. So it's the most dumbest shit in the world. Like, they fucking banned PayPal, they fucking banned Stripe. We didn't have Stripe in the first place. But they banned PayPal, they banned PayPal, they banned crypto, they banned what else? They don't have, like, the amount of fucking big business opportunities here is like fucking dog shit. Like, that's me keeping it a buck. But honestly, if you want to really make money, I think like even trading is technically banned. So like, the other day I was like, I called fucking what's the thing, Sampath, about the fact that I gotta fucking pay for trading me, right? Because I gotta backtest and shit. But then they were like, nah, you can't do that because trading is banned here. And I was like, what the fuck? So you know what I did? I got one of my friends, one of my homeboys. He's in Australia. So what I do is I send him money and then I just basically get that shit done. So I pay him and then he pays through his payment gateways for this, because it's not banned there. It's just this fucking government is retarded. And you know, if they want to be so fucking like, if they want to be so legal with the systems, right? Why don't you go fucking look for the I'm not gonna get too political, but you know what I mean? Trading make me commit evade tax. It depends on if you transfer money to an account that's abroad, like especially like if you manage to create an like bank account in like Dubai. I think Bitcoin will fall. Can we create like Dogecoin? You can if you want. You can go on this thing called Pump Fund. It's basically called meme coins. Dogecoin is basically a meme coin. So you can just like click start this, and you need like the minimum deposit for this is like Pump Fund. So meme coin price allocation. So it's like little amount, like not this. It was like $3 or some shit. Bitcoin a real thing? What do you mean Bitcoin a real thing? It's not real money. It's more of like a fantasy. It's like fucking V-Bucks in like Fortnite, but it has real value because it's used for like a lot of illegal transactions. I'm just giving it back, bro. That's where most of the fucking market circuit, like market cap or whatever, it comes in from. Like because it's one of the this guy's gotta be fucking, you gotta be trolling, bro. This guy's like, can we eat bitcoins? Sure, if there's actual fucking chocolates made out of this they sell this fucking dog shitty ass chocolate I saw somewhere, and then they were selling like bitcoin shaped chocolates. It was like basically just like a bitcoin. Call that shit the fucking have you played? I heard that you fork knife. Alright, bro. I heard that you play Fortnite. I don't know about that game. Fork knife? I've never played that shit. No, I don't think so. I think Bitcoin will fail. Can we create like Dogecoin? Dogecoin is just a fucking old coin out of Bitcoin, bro. Everything's out of Bitcoin at the end of the day. I think Dogecoin was on Ethereum, I'm pretty sure. If you go on Dex Screener for instance, you can see, just ignore this, but right now I'm holding Brett, and I can't show my Phantom wallets for now because it's a little buggy at the moment. But right now you can basically use Pump Fund to sort of create your meme coin, so you can like launch this. You just need to make sure you have a actual recent name a car for an edit. 720S, the Clary 720S, the McLaren, man. Alright, so right here, so this is basically like you can launch on Pump Fund for like $3. I don't even know who the fuck that is. I don't think any of these government cunts can fucking fix the thoughts on Logan Paul. I don't give a fuck about Logan Paul, bro. That guy's just fucking, I don't even know. It's just a fucking weirdo. Yeah, that guy with a fucking passion. If I had a gun, the first person I would fucking kill is that guy. I swear to God, I could fucking paint my room's walls with his fucking, blow his brains out and fucking paint the walls of the White House with his fucking brains, bro. Just gotta like blow these motherfuckers' heads off, you know what I mean? He's gotta like fucking get a shotgun, point it at his face. I mean, at his head, right? Point him against the fucking wall. Paint. Like just keep fucking exploding shots. Skincare routine went out. I don't fucking know, bro. But yeah, Logan Paul was he's a loser ass guy. He thought influence can sort of make his little crypto project sort of explode, but it was just a fucking scam. It wasn't really like the amount of there are scams. There's a lot of rug pulls, pump and dumps. I've been a victim to. So yeah, it is what it is. You gotta go through everything, bro. That's just life. You gotta experience everything, I guess. This is not Ambrose. Yeah, I've heard of him. I've seen him on Discord some time ago. I don't know where he is now though. Probably 7 feet under, honestly. Oh man, you know this fucking government, right? It's so fucking dog shit. A lot of things that you can possibly make money from, it's fucking restricted or banned. Why? Because the fucking old faggots, right? I'm sorry, but those guys, right? They fucking ruined the economy. And only I think we should make crypto coins like Dogecoin, since it's not popular in Sri Lanka. And how does it affect Australia? What do you mean affect what? You can't. It doesn't matter where you launch the fucking coin from, bro. And plus, you gotta also realize, if you're launching a meme coin, you don't want to be like public about what you're launching. That's like the dumbest thing you could ever do. Because if your coin goes to zero and the people know who the fuck is behind, especially with something like meme coins, and the coin fucking goes to zero, which it does more likely than you know, there's a very high probability that it would, right? So more likely than like ever, it just fucking goes to zero, right? But at the same time, you gotta realize, if you put yourself out as a Joe, would you wash your ass today? This guy's gotta be trolling. But basically, if you consider like if you publicize yourself as like someone who launches meme coins, and then like even anyone in the fucking crypto community won't just like be direct and just be like, hey, I just fucking launched a meme coin. That would be the most dumbest shit you can ever do. That's just me keeping it a buck, bro. Because at the moment people realize this, let's just say you're fucking meme coin, even if you don't decide on pump and dump in that shit, it just goes to fucking zero. You are the first person they're gonna come with pitchforks and shit to fucking hang you from the fucking neck and forth, and just blow your fucking brains off at the fucking White House. You know what I mean? Just paint the fucking White House's walls with your fucking brains, with the shotguns that they fucking shoot your head with. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of reality you're gonna face if you publicize yourself as a meme coin developer. It's a different case if it's when you launch a meme coin project and it just, I mean, in general, if you launch a project and it just goes to zero, I mean, basically, if you on purpose, if you just like boost the coin, like let's say for example you launch a token and you like spend $1 million out of your own bags to just make it look like the thing is pumping, right? And then people buy in because they think it's a potential buy, because you technically convince, you know, with the whole aesthetic or whatever, like you basically convince these people that this shitty ass dog shit coin is just gonna be the next big thing, right? And basically you convince them to buy in because you just put money, and it looks like the fucking thing is going higher because you just put money into that shit. But in reality, it's not even really going up. And you know what you do all of a sudden? You use your own money to pump it so other people buy in, and then you just sell all that money that's, you know, in the market cap. So other people go zero and you just made all the money as the owner of the token. You know what I mean? So that's what a pump and dump is. Anyone like to the people, if I could like come face to face with someone who a coin that I invested in, and then that shit did a pump and dump. I mean, we do our research, of course, but if I could come face to face with a person that that pump and dumped on me, I swear to God, bro, I don't give a fuck about karma. I would fucking get a shotgun and blast his head off right then and there with a fucking shotgun. I want to make sure that cunt's fucking brains are painting my fucking walls, bro. Paint my fucking walls with his little ass brains, because that cunt wants to scam me. You know what I mean? See this right here? Like, they basically use their own money, and then they pretend as if the fucking coin, that dog shit coin, is going to be the next big thing. But in reality, that's not real, because people buy in. People think your scamming ass is the next big Elon Musk or whatever, and then all you do is just fucking sell. That's gotta be like, you know, it's just beyond words. Honestly, if someone comes to me, especially someone who has done a pump and dump on me, like, I would fucking blow his brains off with a machete or whatever the fuck I can find, bro. That's just me keeping it a buck. Like, I swear to God, I really don't give a fuck. If you want to be a scamming ass bitch, that's the fucking consequences that you gotta pay. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean? Gotta fucking get a shotgun, blow his fucking brains out, paint the walls with his fucking brains, just drag that shit all over just to write a fucking message, throw him off a cliff, and fucking kill his family, bro. Kill his kids, kill the rest of his family. You know what I mean? You gotta just fucking blow them shotguns in their fucking faces. Make sure the walls of their houses explode with fucking blood. You know what I mean? Like, you take their brains, like physically grab their brains out and just fucking paint the walls with their fucking blood. Sorry, but that's just kind of extreme now that I think about it. But that's the type of the fucking torture that I want these people to be going through, even maybe in hell or whatever the fuck. I don't give a shit. For the fucking money that they scam people for, because they think your little shit coin is the next big thing. Because you actually convince people with nice words. Like, look at this dog shit right here, juice coin, right? I put $37 into this bullshit, and they didn't even give me my fucking coin. This was the world's first healthcare meme coin or whatever, and that's the type of fucking promises that they give for the rest of the world. But in reality, they just want to suck your dick. Like, what kind of cunt activity is that, bro? You just scam people. Look, world's first healthcare meme coin. They said this was going to be the next big thing, but in reality, they didn't even send me my fucking tokens, bro. Think of that shit. You gotta think of it. Like, this is bullshit. You look at their website and look at their fucking Twitter. It's convincing as fuck. I can't go to my Telegram right now, but if you go to their fucking Twitter, you can see that this is an actual fucking community. Look, they're verified and they have like proper engagement and stuff. And if you try to fucking message them regarding anything, right? Anything, they're not gonna be accountable for it. Of course not. No. And if you try to message them, their communities are active than ever on their fucking telegrams or whatever. But if you try to message them, that's impossible, because they are the fucking, you know. That's the thing about these crypto things, bro. They just want to like sort of make it in a way that you believe in the project because it's convincing, you know. It's convincing in every aspect. This doesn't look like a fucking page that would try to scam me. Fuck no. That's not my impression of this shit. Fuck no. I am, especially with the engagement their posts are getting, I would assume that this is going to be the next big thing. But in reality, what are they really doing? Nothing. They're just scamming you. That's what they're doing. They're just scamming you with a nice cherry on top. That's what this is about. But that's not to say every project is dog shit like this or scamming like this. It's just a few projects. It's just a few fucking awful people, bro. Like, you gotta realize, like, imagine the people who spend more money. Like, you can't really contact them as soon as you have this fear of missing out. You're like, hey, if I don't get in on this coin, I've probably missed out on like 100x or whatever. But in reality, what it's gonna do is just take your money and just run away with it, and you can't even get your money back because now you can't even contact them. But you invested in them because it looks fucking, you know, I'm sorry, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just fucking annoying, because, you know, it's gotta be one of those things where it just like you really can't stand people who do shit like that. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's just like, it's just a fucking, you know what I mean? So yeah, it is what it is. Man, sorry, that was a very very fucked up thing to say, but hey, I don't really care, honestly. Could give less of a crap. Alright, let's get back. Alright, back to trading. This market's going nowhere, honestly. So let's see what price action says tomorrow. I'm not trying to trade this because this is very volatile, in fact. So I'll just do what I'm doing. This is the this is the, where is it, right here. So you can see that this right here is the market maker buy model. It seems like we're going bullish on this. Yeah, we're definitely going bullish. You can see this manipulation. We have a distribution leg. We have a bit of a fair value gap, which wicks slightly into the fair value gap and then uses that support to retrace towards what the buy side liquidity draw. If you look at this, for example, this internal term high, it was broken, right? This internal term high was broken. This is a market structure shift. So we have a order flow before the breaker structure right here. This order flow area, so you can use this as a demand zone right here. So it's a bunch of breakout structures. Before the breaker structure, you have a demand zone. So and you just keep retracing higher and higher and higher. Hit TP. Simple. Anyways, I'm just going to head out for now. Yeah, that's pretty much it for now. And yeah, that's pretty much my trading journey for now. I gotta make sure I watch the rest of the million videos that I gotta finish up within today. For these videos that I'm trying to finish up for the trading and stuff, because I gotta pass this funded challenge first. But yeah, I'll see you guys later because I gotta head out. I gotta make sure I'm pretty good at this so that I can pay my fucking bills and land on my ass before the age of 19. Because if I'm fucking by late September I'm fucking still not making money, that's gotta be a loser ass fucking, you know, thing. And I gotta make sure I'm good at trading if I want to really make money. So I gotta grind. Nobody's paying my fucking bills. So yeah, sorry about the agitation. I'm just a little annoyed.